After building over 2,000 SOPs, I've learned that most founders are documenting the wrong things. Now, here's the exact system that works. My name's Scott Bartnick. I teach founders how to build systems so they can get out of their own way and scale their business. I'm going to show you exactly how I build SOPs to be successful. Now, the first thing we need to do is jump into the screen share and see what a system is. Now, I teach this in detail in a different video. You can grab that down below, but super high level, any system is going to work the exact same way, whether it's a client order or a project internally and something that needs to be done. Then we need to do the work needs to be delivered, and then we need to get feedback on that work to have a successful system that's going to continuously improve. That is all a system is. Now we need to figure out how to build standard operating procedures or SOPs so that way our quality stays strong every single time and it runs without the founder input. So the first thing here is really looking at what types of standard operating procedures are there. In my opinion, there are really only two. There are what I like to call daily SOPs and then basically task SOPs. Tasks can break down into knowledge bases. They can break down into 100 different ways to look at it, but it just basically there's what someone has to do every single day, which is just their task, and then how to do those tasks are. This is where most founders fail, is they don't get all of these pieces correct and they don't connect the standard operating procedures. I have a lot of clients that I coach and they say I've done SOPs before and they don't work, and it's because they're not connected. The big connection piece is the daily SOP. So what we're gonna do here is take this daily SOP. So basically we have a project or some kind of work that needs to be done. In this case, I'm gonna change this to work so it's a little bit more clear. So we have a work that needs to be done and it's coming in, and that might be the same work every single day where it's a team member that's doing social media, or it might be someone working on fulfillment. And so it's kind of new clients every single time, but that work needs to get done. So they're coming in here, we have work. Now our daily SOP is the route to getting all of this work done, because what it does is it lists everything someone is responsible for and gives clear priorities. So we're going to put in this priority piece here right now, and that's super important. So with this daily SOP, it tells who the owner is, what the priority is, and a lot more detail. So I'm going to quickly go over that, and then I'm going to continue to explain how this system actually works and how we connect all of this. And don't worry, I do have templates that you can grab for free as part of the Founder Systems AI course and community down below. So as part of the center of my standard operating procedures, I use the daily task. Now the daily tasks are so critical because it's individual to each employee and it branches out to everything else they own. Typically what I see in a business is a whole bunch of SOPs or documentation in a Google folder that dies. Now we actually use Google, you can use Notion or other tools to organize this, and I'll quickly show you how I organize it. But the only way this works is if someone has one place that they can go check for everything they need to know about doing their job. And that's exactly what this daily SOP is. It has their why statement, their mission, why are they doing their job, their overview of their job roles, what good looks like for their job, what their priorities are, what daily tasks they need to do, how much time they need to spend on it, how good their training is in that specific department, and then what their cadence is for every task that needs to be done. The key is this connects to what you would traditionally see as standard operating procedures, is more of a task-based standard operating procedure. So in here, this is a free download so you can go through it, but basically, like I said, it has that priorities, it has what they're doing. And now in this task, obviously there's notes, but we're setting expectations here because this will link to a more detailed standard operating procedure, which we'll go over in a little bit, but then they have notes of what needs to be done, how much time they should be spending. And then as a manager tool, part of our feedback loop is what is their skill set. So in this is example is a salesperson. There should be somewhere on monthly or weekly, they have one-on-one check-ins. So as part of this process, you build in check-ins with your manager so that way we can go through the education level. So this is the center of our standard operating procedures. And then what we're gonna do is go back to this diagram and show you how it all connects. When you come in and you hire someone, they're gonna get a standard operating procedure, and typically you wanna keep that scope really tight. So that example was a very large one, but you want a much shorter one with a few job responsibilities, their one-on-one cadence, their feedback cadence, because again, we're building in this system. So we're gonna show them them what work needs to be done, basically where they're getting the work from, how to do the work, where to deliver the work, and then how to get feedback on the work. That's all we want to do with any standard operating procedure. So we have that daily SOP, we have the priorities, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have a more specific SOP. So in there, we're going to have a specific job that needs to be done. So the actual responsibilities, and we can link to that. And that's what I mean by connecting, is we actually linked to this specific change in screen size. We linked to this specific full SOP here. So this is one of the next steps we're going to go over. And then in our delegation process, what we have here is we have the actual tasks that are being done. So there's only a few key things in standard operating procedures that are actually important. And again, you can grab my templates down below, but you need the tasks, you need who owns the task. So not only who owns what the job is, which is really linked in the daily SOP, but also who's responsible for upkeeping the standards on the SOP. Then you're going to have your goals. So all of this together is really just knowledge, but you're giving them the tools that they need to be successful. So we have who owns it, what actually needs to be done, those are the tasks, and then what does good look like? How do I know that I'm done? What does good look like? And that's it. So basically, we're going to link everything together for you so it's a little bit more visual, and we'll take out this work for a second. So if you want to simplify it even more, you're going to have this basically an order comes in, which can be a project, and it's going to go to basically be triggered by a daily SOP. So someone will know that they're in charge of that automatically based on their standard operating procedure. Now I need to create a new one in here, which will be we'll just call it SOP. So this daily SOP has in it the priorities, and then from there, the daily SOP is going to go ahead and point to our normal task-based or process-based standard operating procedures, which is going to again have the owner, the task, and the goals. Now that can go further and point into a project management tool. So if these are individual projects, maybe clients that we need to manage, we can work all of that together. But see how all of these are connected? That's what most people miss, is the templates are great. They're down below for free as part of the Founder Systems AI course and community. And if you want additional help, you can join the course. We work with a lot of founders who are really focused on systemizing and scaling their business so it runs without them. If you guys don't know, I'm a 2-time Inc. 5000 CEO. I have over 75 employees, and on my core business, I have to work less than an hour a day just because I put in the right people and the right processes to allow me to have that freedom. So this is all basically pointing down to this project management software, and that's how it all works together. Now, the key here is this is basically an order comes in, it's going to go to work. Work is being triggered and it's flowing through all of these. They're going to know how to deliver it, probably through the project management software. They're going to deliver it, and then they're going to have some sort of feedback loop. So if it's a customer, we're going to ask that customer for feedback. Does it need revisions? We'll have a feedback form. If it's internal, they're going to do that through their one-on-ones or a different process. Maybe it's through a project management board, but all of that is going to be triggered through their daily SOP. So their daily SOP will say how they're supposed to get feedback. This is how we connect it all. And now the magic is the team member. And if you're doing a one-on-one with that team member, all they have to do is go over their daily SOP. Now, when I hire someone new, before their first day, I make sure that I have at a minimum their daily SOP set up with specific cadences on how they get feedback, how work is triggered, how they're delivering work. And so when they come in, there's no surprise on what actually needs to be done. Now, this is truly the standard operating procedure system that allowed me to step out of my Inc. 5000 business without done over $30 million in revenue. If you want to learn how to systemize your business just like this, first off, subscribe because I drop a lot of these videos for free. Grab the freebies down below, including the SOP templates. And if you're interested in more support, check out the Founder Systems AI course and community.